Oh man, we're having a day. Okay, it's going good now, but we had a good start to the day. It was like a good day sandwich. It was like the day started off really good, and then there was like a hectic period. I lost my memory card to one of my GoPros, and it's like a 256 gigabyte memory card, and I've got so much footage on it, and it just disappeared for several hours throughout the day. And so I spent that time looking for it everywhere, home, studio, and back again. It ended up being under the couch. I just found it a few minutes ago, and now the day has gotten better again. It's afternoon already, and I haven't even started. I've just kind of been wrapped up, like trying to get all this stuff together. But yeah, so I don't have a whole big speech today. Oh, it's the other GoPro. My bad. I don't have a whole big speech or anything for today. I'm a little bit frazzled, so we're just gonna get to work. All right, let's see what we got here today. Mixing up some colors again, just like yesterday. I'm mixing pretty much just what I'm going to be painting with at the moment, and so for me right now that's the flesh tones, and I'm borrowing some of the colors from the previous painting and just modulating them. Waste not, want not kind of vibes, you know, don't waste paint. The shadows on this one have a lot of blue in them, and that's, you know, because the background is primarily blue, and when, you know, you have an overwhelming field of color, it is, or any, you know, any color for that matter, it's going to affect the flesh tones. And in this case, a lot of it is affecting the shadow shapes, and so you get, you know, a very cool shadow, even, you know, maybe a bit cooler than usual because there is such a big blue backdrop. And so the mixture that I made up is a little bit of ivory black, a little bit of burnt umber, and some phthalo blue. So you get a nice, deep, rich, dark color. And that's what I laid down for the shadows on the arms, and the shadows on the ground are a little bit darker. It's pretty much the same ratio, or the same mixture of colors, just in different ratios. And that's one thing, you know, that and then moving on here, I'm working the shirt and the shorts, which were pretty much, you know, actually not pretty much, they were exactly the same color. He was wearing a white t-shirt and white shorts, so I treated those very similarly. Again, in the shadows, we get a lot of that dark blue that you're going to see in the background, and also affecting a bit of the white. But, you know, that's the blue and the white is also just kind of white has a bluish hue to it. This one is a much smaller of a figure than obviously the one next to it. As you can see on the left side of the screen, the scale is a bit different. So I'm working pretty much with a small brush throughout the figure the whole time, and, you know, trying my best to pick up as much detail. But the thing that I do like about working kind of small, or this kind of middle scale, is that you can just be a lot looser, and you know, the brushwork is just kind of a lot juicier too. So here I'm starting to mix up the big background color, which was just like very beautiful blue. And what I ended up using was also a little bit of ivory black, some phthalo blue, but then this time I mixed in some ultramarine blue as well, because it was kind of in the middle of the two. Maybe I could have gotten away with using like a nice cerulean, but I don't have that in my palette, and I've actually never used cerulean blue. But I've seen it used before, and it's such a beautiful color. The time lapse for the palette kind of ran out at some point, or something happened to it, so I had to revert back to just the time lapse here, so you'll forgive me for that. But I'm working just on the outlines of everything, pretty much the same as we did the other one. What I noticed about this painting that was a bit different was that there wasn't any blurring in the shadows at all. It was all pretty crisp and sharp, so I made sure to respect that in the painting and keep it as such. So here again, just picking a pattern and moving in as much of a uniform pattern as I can, brushstroke wise, up and down. Here I of course went left to right a little bit for efficiency, but for the rest of it, it's pretty much just up and down. And that is again to make sure that there's no glare in any funky directions on the painting when I photograph it. And then just working in some shadows here and finishing it with the shadows on the stripe. So this one was a pretty straightforward painting. Again, like super happy that I got a whole one done today. I'm probably gonna go back tomorrow morning before I start the next one and put in some detail. Tomorrow's Saturday though, so thinking about it, I might take the day to just experiment and play around. I know I said that in this mode, it's kind of not, not really the vibe to be experimenting right now, but fuck it, man. I feel like playing around, and I feel like I've got a good grip on the workload, and I feel like I'm gonna keep this good steady pace going, and doing that, staying consistent, is gonna buy me some extra time, and I'm gonna use that to play around possibly tomorrow. So tomorrow's either gonna be some like experimentation action or just getting back to it and grinding away at the next piece. But we'll see how I'm feeling in the morning, and I'll see you guys then. Have a good night.